God bless you, brothers and sisters. Candace here. Just want to share a dream that I had last night. Today is March 28th, 2017. I actually had this dream early this morning because I didn't go to bed until at least after midnight. It was almost 1. But I want to try and share it with you guys. You know, feel free to leave your comments as to what you feel the dream means to you, but take it to God and ask Him for clarification of it. Okay? Alright. So the dream starts out with me sleeping and being awoken in my dream to hearing helicopters sound like they're like just right in the backyard. And I'm like, what is that? So I look out the window. I wake up, I look out the window, and I see it's like military helicopters. Okay? And they're not in the backyard, but they're hovering very low, almost as maybe about 4 or 5 feet away from the house. Kind of hard to judge when something's in the air. But I see them hovering, and they have like a light or something on. And it's a couple of them. Okay? So I start calling for my husband, and I'm like, Rick. And at first I guess he doesn't hear me. And I go out of the bedroom, and I'm like, Rick. I'm like, what's going on? And he's like, you're not watching the news? I'm like, no, I have fell asleep. And he's like, it's happening. It started already. It's happening. I said, what's happening? I run to the front of the house because I hear commotion. And now my house changes where it's no longer, I have a Cape style house. It actually changed to more of like a split level ranch style. Because now the bedroom window in the front, well, not bedroom, but living room window, it's in the front of the house, but it's up high, like a second story. And I'm looking out, and I could see these military guys, and they're all like marching up, and they're stopping. Now, in front of the house, which is not current, and I've seen this setting before, okay, but it's like there's a field or like a play area. There's a grassy area that has a curb. It's circular. And the houses go around the outer part of it. So if you wanted to, you could have a picnic in this area, or a barbecue, or you could even, walk the dogs, play frisbees or something like that. Okay? Anyway, so I look out the window. It's dark outside. It's nighttime. I don't know what time it is. But as he's saying it, it's happening. I ran to the window and I look outside. I see the military guys coming up. Now, the outfits that they have on are the light-colored army fatigues. One of the sisters was telling me, I think they referred to it as like the Desert Storm fatigue colors. But I see them, and they lining up, they're walking, and they're stopping, and they're standing in a row. I look past them, and I could see a podium and the news press outside. So there's about to be a conference. All of a sudden, I hear talking on the TV, and I turn and I look, and then I turn back again and look outside, and I realize, holy cow, this is right outside of my house that this is happening, right? So I'm like, what is going on? And this is all that I heard. Now, there's a lady that's doing the addressing. I cannot see her face clearly. I never turned back around to the TV, but it seemed like it's Hillary Clinton or someone around her age or with the same character or personality as her. And this is what she says. Martial law has now been placed in effect. From this time forward, we are now in a state of martial law. No one is allowed to leave their homes. You must stay in your homes. No one will be allowed on the roads. You must return to your homes if you are out at once. We will be coming to check each house to see who's there and if everyone that's supposed to be there is actually there. So if you are home, stay in your homes. If you are out, go to your homes now. And I was like, my God. I said, baby, I said, we got to pray. Get Candasia. We got to pray. So Candasia's my daughter. So the three of us start holding hands. Okay. And we start praying to God. And we're asking him to help us and to guide us. And all of a sudden, at first I thought of it as like vanishing. But I realized that it was a teleportation. We disappear from the living room. And now we're in like these tunnels underneath the house. And I'm like, where are we? He's like, I don't know. He was like, but I think we should go this way. And we start running through these tunnels. And finally we make it out of the tunnel. Okay. So I actually get up, wake up from this part of the dream. I go use the bathroom. The time that I wake up is 3:02 a.m. And that's New York time, Eastern time. Okay, I come back, I lay down, and I'm like, wow, Lord. I'm like, that was a weird dream. And I was like, I'm glad that was a dream. And I lay back down. When I go back to sleep, I wake up and I see there's a whole bunch of people. And we all have on, I never saw myself. At first, when I first awoke to this, I thought I was looking through someone else's eyes. But later on, I realized that it was actually me because I'm talking to my husband. But I see these people, and everyone has on these jumpsuits. And the jumpsuits remind you of like the old mechanic suits or like the old Dickie one pieces. Okay, they're short sleeves. Not a thick material, on a thinner side. They're like a light blue. You could tell they're denim, but you know how like that light blue denim sometimes has like the white stitch, so it makes it look lighter than what it is, or like washed out. That's the kind of overalls that everyone had on. Okay, now all these people are lined up. There's buses in this place. It's almost like a hangar, if you will, or even like a mechanic place. But it's definitely a holding area. Okay, and all these people on different lines. And Rick, which is my husband, he's on a different line. And I began hearing these things, and these are what different people are saying. I hear a guy saying, I'm so hungry. I hear another guy say, I'm thirsty. I hear a lady say, when are we going to eat? They said that they were going to give us food. I'm hungry. My kids need to eat. And this is all stuff that I hear people saying. Okay? And I said, Rick, I'm like, we've got to find a way to get them some food. And he's like, I know. He was like, but where are we going to get food from? We don't have any food ourselves. I'm like, God's going to make a way. All of a sudden, this guy comes out of nowhere. And he's like, hey. And I said, yes. He goes, you want food? I said, yes. I said, you have food? I said, they're all hungry. And he's like, yeah. He was like, you can't tell everyone. He was like, you can't tell anyone. I said, okay. So I said, and he's like, okay, you're going to go here, here, here. He's giving me directions on where to go. So I said, Rick, I'm like, we got to go and get food. I was like, the guy just told me where we could get food. He goes, yeah, but are you sure you trust him? I'm like, well, it's got to be from God. I was like, because we just prayed to God. Like I just literally said, God will make a way. So it's got to be. So he's like, all right. He was like, well, it's going to look suspicious if we both leave off at the same time. You go first and I'll follow you. I said, okay, when you get to such and such corner, I said, make a right. And I'll be waiting there. He said, okay. So I went and then he came. We walked and followed the guy's directions. And when we got to this place, a guy answered the door and he asked us a question. And the question, only a Christian would know the answer to it. Okay? I'm not going to say what the question is. But it's almost like one of those secret code things. Like you say a scripture and then you finish it kind of thing. Okay? Just to make it a little bit easier to understand. So we say it and we go in. And when he opens the door to let us fully in, The place in here is huge. Like, it looks like a warehouse building from the outside, but it's way bigger than that. And there are a ton of people in there. The people sitting on cots and things like that. They have food and drinks, and everybody is being taken care of. And then as we walk in, I wake up. The time now is 6:34 a.m. And I'm like, man, that was crazy. So I go to the bathroom again, come back, still sleepy, get back in the bed. I'm like, I got a couple of hours before my alarm goes off. I'm going to make the most of this. But I'm like, Lord, I want to remember these dreams. So I keep telling myself the dreams as I'm falling back to sleep. Well, in my dream, I hear my 2 dogs fighting, which they always do. One likes to lay on the other one and she gets upset. But anyway, they'll be fighting, whatever. So I'm like, okay, I got to get some sleep. So in the dream, I get up and I'm like, come on, Bella, come and lay in the bed with me. So I turn around and I walk back to the room. I go in the room and then I'll open my eyes and look, it's actually Brandy, which is my other dog, who jumped on the bed. And really, that's my husband's dog. But I'm like, okay, whatever. As long as you guys aren't fighting, I could go back to sleep, have a couple more hours. As I go to close the room door, I see these huge numbers stacked, one on top of another, behind the door. And if it wasn't for me closing the door, I wouldn't have saw the numbers. But the numbers go all the way up to the top of the door, which obviously most door frames are about 7 feet. Okay? The first number is 12. That's the one that's on top. Then there's a 7 underneath of that one. And then there's another 7. And the door was white, if that makes a difference. Okay? The door was painted white, which in my room, my door is not white. Okay? And I was trying to figure out what it meant. But 12, means midnight. Or completed. There's a lot of references to it in the Bible. Also in Revelations 12, it talks about the 12, I believe. Let me just see real quick. A woman clothed with the sun and the moon under her feet, and upon her head a crown of 12 stars. And that's before she goes into travailing and before Satan is cast out from heaven with the dragon and that whole bit. So you guys read Revelations 12. But more importantly, ask God what these dreams mean. Ask him to discern them and give you a revelation of them. But I felt like it was important and I needed to share them. God bless you all. Jesus is coming back. Do not lose hope. Do not lose sight. Keep looking. Keep your oil filled, brothers and sisters, because it's when you least expect it that he will come like a thief in the night. I love you all. God bless.